Hey, bae.
Given that's how we live it, don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I love you. God loves you best. Hello, 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 and welcome. You are tuned in to Ronnie P TV. I am yours truly, Ronnie P. And if this is your first time watching, thank you for tuning in. And if you are coming back, thank you for spending some time with me. And today, or tonight, we will be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 8. And this episode is entitled Handy Dandy Notes. It is entitled Somebody Loves Me. New wife, new life. Okay, so this episode starts off with the couples arriving back from their honeymoon in Panama. They are going back and they are actually moving into their apartments. And all of the couples will be staying in the same building, just on different floors. So they're all going to be neighbors. And I guess that's going to be good. They'll all be like there to comfort each other and be there for some sort of support. The blind leading the blind. Yeah, I love it. It's like a train wreck waiting to happen, and everyone will be able to give each other sound advice but not take it themselves. That's what we always do. I feel ashy, so we're just gonna take a minute and get me a little gloss. Oh, and we're gonna talk about me right quick. So I celebrated a birthday. Yes, I celebrated my birthday on Friday, the 21st. Happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños to me. I am a double-digit year old. And I'm loverly. I had a wonderful time. What did I do? I had a slumber party themed birthday party. Yes, I had a slumber party because I've never had a slumber party a day in my life. My mother never let me have a slumber party. She was not with the fool-la-la. I had never been to one. I mean, I got to spend the night at my aunt's house with my cousins and things like that, but not classmates or things like that. And I wore onesie pajamas because I haven't wore onesie since I was like 5 or 6 years old, but they didn't have the footies in them because that would have drove me crazy. I don't like my feet in, but I did wear socks so that I would have something on my feet because I have tile floors. And if I look a little tilted, that's because I made me a pina colada. Okay, so now back to, I'm looking for a particular gloss. I'm sorry, I'm taking up time. I might cut some of this out. This is the one I just bought. Okay, so to resume back from where I was, couples are in the apartment building. They're on different floors. They're all there for moral support. The experts thought that that would be a good idea. And we start off with Derek and Katie. They get in. they're exhausted, so they're going to just go ahead, get their pajamas on, and they're going to get ready for bed. They discuss how they're still excited about how well things are going, and they are looking forward to what's to come. I just go ahead and go on into their next part. They prepare packing, and Derek says they go to Derek's place first to prepare his place for packing to move into the apartment, because they have to move their stuff into the place. And he says living together is going to be the test for them. And Katie mentions how she likes the aesthetic of his room because he lives with roommates. And she says it's kind of small. It's about the size of a room if he lived with his parents. But she likes the theme of it. It kind of has a beachy vibe to it, like a beach aesthetic. And she hopes that he is over living with roommates. She hopes that he's over that phase in his life and he's ready and prepared to move on to the next phase. And she asks if it's okay if she goes through his drawers, and he says that that's fine. So she opens the drawer and she finds some 20s rolled in half, and she finds what she thought was a real gun at first, and then she's informed that it's a fake gun. Derek lets her know, and he says, hey, you never know when you're going to encounter someone. You have to always be prepared, because if someone breaks in and you put a gun in their face, they're going to think twice. And I'm like, yeah, you got a fake gun. Unless they have a real gun, now you got some problems on your hands. But I digress. So then we move on to Jessica and Austin, and they go in and they tour their new apartment, and Jessica taunts Austin and puts his luggage in the smaller closet, and they get ready for bed, and she immediately goes over, which I don't have a problem with that, because men are supposed to walk on the outside. They're supposed to walk on the outside, and she moved over to the part of the bed where the window was so that he could sleep closer to the door, and that would be the chivalrous thing to do. So I didn't have a problem with that. But I don't know, she's starting to annoy me because she likes to mock him. I guess that's their thing, but she just takes too much joy in mocking him and teasing him, but she doesn't like it reciprocated. She doesn't like to be the butt of jokes. She really doesn't like it, but she really likes giving it, and I don't like that about her at all. And she goes into like mommy mode. She's like, are you going to clean up, or when we go to your place, or are you going to do this, are you going to do that? And very motherly, very matronly, and I'm concerned about that. But she mentions how she doesn't want to go back to work, and Austin recounts their journey, and he uses the analogy of chapters. He talks about their wedding night, the honeymoon, and then coming up to the move-in, and then Jessica again mocks him, asking, is he writing their love story book? And I'm like, girl, what is your problem? I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's just too often. It's been since the honeymoon. She's done it. And talked about it with Pastor Cal. Like, that's their thing, and talked about how she doesn't like to be on the receiving end of the jokes, but she loves dishing it out. Then when they go to the apartment, they go to Austin's place first, and she immediately sees that in his bedroom, I guess he doesn't sleep with a bed sheet, or I couldn't see because she was pulling the comforter, and I was trying to get really what he doesn't sleep with. And then he was like, I really don't keep up with the schedule of how often I wash it and stuff. And I was like, okay, every 2 weeks. He was like a month. I was like, then he said facetiously, every day. I wash it every day. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, girl, you don't realize he was being facetious? But hey. And then she's like, maybe she should appreciate that he's a minimalist, being that she overdoes everything. And we start to see that she overdoes everything. When we get to her place, she wants to take everything. He said, how many pairs of jeans are you taking? And if I'm not mistaken, girlfriend said 500. I think she said 500 pair. She packed a lot of stuff. And then there became a debate about a watermelon. A watermelon. She was taking the watermelon. On to Mindy, less Zach. So apparently at the airport, Zach told Mindy that he wasn't ready to move in, and therefore he was not moving in, and therefore he did not move in. Zach does not want to be in this marriage, okay? He just does not know how to express or say the words. But I don't feel bad for him. But I get it. Because later on, we're going to get into that. Because I get it. He said something very profound. I listened to it over and over, and I finally got it. Through all of the clutter, I got it. But Mindy decides that she's going to move in without Zach because she still wants to make it work with Zach. Zach has given her some gleaming sense of hope that he wants to work on the marriage. He wants to work on the marriage, but yet he puts space there. There's a saying, and it goes, go by what you see, not what they say. He didn't come to that place. In that brief moment, he was honest with you. When he told you he wasn't coming to that place because he wasn't ready, he was partially honest. He should have told you because he didn't want to. And if he said it anywhere along the lines of he doesn't want to, it wasn't about he's not ready, because there's another room in there. There's 2 rooms in case you don't feel comfortable sleeping in the same bed or anything like that. They gave you a 2-bedroom. So yeah, go by what you see, sweetie, not what he's saying. But she wants to make it work. So we're going to let her try and make it work. Zach says he's hitting the reset button because he doesn't want to just put on a show and be stoic. That would make sense if he was really wanting to make an effort. That would make sense. He wants to hit the reset button because he doesn't want to make a show and be stoic. That would make sense if he wanted to make an effort. He doesn't want to make an effort. He's trying to figure out a way to appear like he wants to make an effort. Oh my gosh, he almost seems like the guy from the previous season that had the girl lying about them having sex. And we all thought he might have been one of the village people. I'm not saying like Zach is far from one of the village people, but he is just really being deceitful. He is trying to be a master of disguise. So then we got Mika and Michael. Okay. My feelings have become mixed. I'm still Team Mika, even though Mika says some crazy stuff, but I'm still Team Mika. Michael, on the other hand, I am so suspect. Oh, I'm so suspect about Michael. It's unbelievable. Okay, here is why I'm suspect about Michael. Because he does suspect things. Okay, first, they get to their apartment and they look around. Mika is super excited about where things are going with her new place and her new husband, and looking forward to what they have to come, as well as Michael. They have mutual feeling about where they have come to from where they've been, and they're on the right track. Now, when the first place that they got to pack up was Mika's place, and Michael was too excited to like go and pull a Dr. Pepper on Mika to look around. And the first room that he went to was her bedroom, and he wanted to go through her drawers. And I think he was trying to find her drawers in her drawers. And Mika didn't like that too much. Like, she was like, I'm trying to figure out why he's trying to, go through my stuff. And she's like, you want to go through my things. She has to be from Maryland, from Baltimore, because she has a real thick Baltimore accent, a Maryland accent. And so she's like, I'll help you. And so they're going through she's like, this is my underwear drawer, my sock drawer. Riddle me why your sock drawer, the things that go on your feet, would be in the same drawer with the garment that goes on your crotch. think about that one, Mika. Food for thought. You might want to think about separating those two things. Because you like to problem solve. That's a problem for you to solve. Okay, I digress. Then he wanted to go through the cabinets in the kitchen, and she was like, nah, bruh. And he was like, he wanted a bottle of water. She was like, it's right there on the counter. And she was like, you got a cold bottle of water? She looked at him like he was crazy. She was like, on the counter. And so after that, they went to Michael's apartment. And Michael's apartment is absolute chaos. It is, he says it is, did he call it orderly chaos or chaotic order? I think he called it orderly, something like that. He did a play on words, like an oxymoron. It was cluttery. And he thinks he's neat, but he's not. And I agree with Mika. As soon as they panned in his bedroom, you saw like all this junk up under his bed, stuff that he probably could fold, organize and stuff, and he could put in like Rubbermaids and like the big Rubbermaids, and he can organize up under the bed because the bed is kind of high off the ground. The neatest part of his room is his closet. Thank goodness. His clothes are very neat and organized. I always had a problem with people that put their shoes on the shelves because I feel like that dirt on the bottom of your shoes falls on the clothes. So yeah, I wouldn't put my shoes up unless they were in boxes, but not just out. Anyway, but he also has, I know people that leave like maybe like a pot, because I leave like sometimes a pot on the stove for like boiling water, but most of the time I have like eye covers for my stove, because I opted to get like the electric stove that didn't have the flat top range. It had like the coils. I went back to coils. I had a flat top range, and then it went out during the hurricane, and so then my ex purchased me another stove, and I wanted coils, so I went back to coils. What was I gonna say? He keeps a pan on the stove, but he keeps a spatula inside of the pan. Now, to me, that's a hazard. That's not safe, because you could accidentally forget to turn off the stove. The spatula could burn up, and like it could smoke up the house. Anything, like just accidents happen. Somebody else could turn it on. Like accidents happen. You shouldn't leave the spatula in the pan. He says it's about efficiency. I feel like that's not efficient. That's counter effective. That's a hazard. I'm gonna just highlight and jump back over to Mindy. She was with her friend Mallory, and they were talking about, Mindy was catching Mallory up with what went on the honeymoon with her and Zach, which really wasn't much. She said they made out once, and he basically told her how he wasn't attracted to her, and how he wasn't going to be moving into the apartment, and how he thought it was best that they spent some time apart. And that's my other phone. And Mallory basically poses the question to Mindy, does Zach really deserve a second chance? Does he really deserve the love that she is willing to extend to him, regardless of the marriage, regardless of whatever arrangement that is thus far? He hasn't made a true effort to be available and there for her emotionally, physically, psychologically. In any way has he made himself available. So why does he deserve a second chance? And Mindy says she's committed to the process, and she believes that, you know, it can be turned around. I feel like the experts, well, I won't even say the experts. Well, yes, I will. I'll say Dr. Vivian and Pastor Cal, because those are the two people that we've seen speak to her, have been trying to do damage control. Pastor Cal tried to do damage control, telling her not being attracted to someone doesn't mean you're not attractive. And that's true. That's absolutely true. Just because someone isn't attracted to you doesn't mean you're not attractive. But in this case, that's what we're dealing with. A person who's attractive, who someone is not attracted to them. And we just got to deal with that's what it is. He's not attracted to Mindy. He said it in so many words. The attraction isn't there. And he's told her, I'm not attracted to you. And we keep talking about making something growing. Attraction can grow. Attraction can grow. Attraction can grow. Why are we trying to force something? The man just said he's not trying to put on a show and be stoic. So he's trying to hit the reset button. He's trying to figure out a way to make this work when he's not. There's no attraction. There's no physical attraction there. She meets all his qualifications on paper. She looks good on paper. But he's not physically attracted to her. And he said it. But I don't know where it's going wrong. I don't understand. And then, so Pastor Cal meets with Zach. And Zach tells Pastor Cal, and this is where I had the epiphany. Zach tells Pastor Cal, chemistry is that intangible that cannot be manufactured. Chemistry is that intangible that can't be manufactured. You can't make it. You can't, that's not something you can make. It's organic. It's organic. While Mindy meets all and has all the qualities on paper, the attraction that he's looking for that can't be forced is not there. It's not there. And then Pastor Cal asked Zach, does he want to be married? There was a pause. I closed my eyes and waited for the answer, because when you shut down a sense, the other senses become enhanced. So I shut my eyes so that I could hear him better. And his answer was yes, but it wasn't a yes as a statement. It was a yes with a question mark. It was a yes. It wasn't a yes. It wasn't a yes, period. It was a yes, question mark. And then in the end cap, you got Pastor Cal saying, I'm not sure if he's saying that basically just to say it, or he's saying it because he means it. Because if he felt like your answer was a true yes, he wouldn't have said that. But apparently he didn't feel like he didn't feel sure about the yes either, because it wasn't a true, certain, guaranteed, bona fide yes. It wasn't a solid yes, and he knows it. And I don't know why they would do that to Mindy. Then we got Taylor and Brandon. Breathe. So Taylor moves in without Brandon. Another move in without the husband. She hasn't heard from him. She hasn't spoken to him. She just says that she misses the loving, sweet Brandon that she met at the wedding and at honeymoon. And that is the Brandon that she wants to reconnect with. She meets with Pastor Cal and recounts the incidents that happened. And Pastor Cal is in shock of the information that he is receiving at this moment. He can't believe what he's hearing when she's telling him how Brandon acted. And he did. He acted a complete donkey, putting his hand all on the cameraman's camera, pushing him, talking about back up, like just disrespectful, just cursing everybody out on the bus, cursing out Taylor. I want to know how he was going to get back to the U.S. without a passport. Like, he left all his stuff in the room. Like, so you was just relying on her to, like, get you. Let's talk about that for a minute, because you didn't acted a fool, talk smack, and then left your stuff. He would have just missed that flight, because I wasn't going to miss my flight. I was going to get on the flight that I was supposed to be on. But she was really, really holding him down, because I don't know if I could have did it. You talked all that junk to me, and then you just apologized the day before, and then you said you wasn't going to do the junk no more. And then the next day, you talking smack again. And I was just like, chill. Don't talk to them like that. And it's like, look, you making yourself look crazy on these TV right now. This how you want to portray yourself? Because I'm not trying to be attached to nobody that's looking crazy. And you tell me, oh, so you don't want to be married to me? And you blow up on me? And I'd be like, is he wacky? Like, what is wrong with dude? Seriously. Like, what is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? I don't think I would be able to pack his stuff. I really think that his things would get left. And then he would have to go back in there and pack his things and have something to think about. I really do. But Pastor Cal asked to speak to Brandon by himself. And then he says, he gives his regular schmegular, he messed up speech. Want, 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 want. Pastor Cal lets him know, you got to be accountable for your actions. You can't be attacking people just because you feel like you're getting attacked. You go into attack mode before you even get attacked because you feel like you're going to get attacked. Therefore, you go biting people's heads off. And then you go and say, you know, you made some mistakes and I'm sorry. It's good to apologize, but you got to really mean it and not do the stuff no more. So, you know, after that, Taylor comes back in. He has him recite some vows to be a better husband, to be a better Brandon. She accepts his apology again. And then they move on. They go and help him get his stuff out of his apartment to move into the apartment and try and start over so they can move forward. Jessica and Austin go and talk to Pastor Cal, and they talk about finances. Jessica is an RN, and she makes substantially more than Austin. And Pastor Cal asked, does this bother her? Heifer lied and said that it didn't, when we all know that it does, because she said so in episode 5 that this bothers her, but she says that it doesn't. But it's good that she knows that Austin wants to excel and bring himself up because he is a progressive person with a progressive mindset, and he wants to, you know, propel himself higher in his career. So we're going to see where that goes, and hopefully the finance issue isn't pushed anymore moving forward. Then we have Katie and Derek. In a nutshell, Pastor Cal talks to Katie and Derek. Katie feels like they're moving in a good space, and so does Derek. Derek feels more like they're roommates, and Katie has concerns about that. She's upset about that sentiment that he feels like they're roommates. And also Derek feels like he's not going to be in a place of love or moving close to being in love with her within that 8-week time frame. And that also upsets and concerns Katie. She doesn't like the thought that he wouldn't love or be in love with her by that time. Then we have Katie with her skeletons. She has an ex that's lingering off in the bushes and recently told her that he loves her. And she's claiming that she's cut all ties with this ex. But now Derek's starting to feel like he's in competition with an ex that he didn't even know existed. And Katie's saying that, you know, all of this happened so fast because she hasn't had time to, you know, really process her feelings because this process happened so fast. And I'm like, girl, you had no business even getting into this process because you just recently ended a relationship and you needed at least a year. I don't know how long you have been dating this person, but you needed at least a year to heal before you even got into anything else. So, but with this previous lover thing, she just needed time to heal from that. And then she starts doing this crying thing. And I'm like, girl, why are you crying? Suck it up. This is your skeleton. You should have kept it in that cemetery. And let it just... Because now that's going to be on Derek's mind. And that's not going to make him go any closer to wanting to LOVEU. Anyway, rate, comment, like, share this video if you care, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I'm so glad that I was able to get this out sooner than later. I am going to link my social media somewhere up here, right there. And I want you to go ahead and subscribe because you love me. And yeah, rate, comment, share, subscribe. You know, click right here, click right here. I'm going to have 8 out and 9 out. I should have them out by tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Sunday and Monday. No, by the latest. Okay? Just bear with me. We're getting there. I'm going to get so caught up. I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, I know I'm looking all over the place, but it's okay. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, mwah, bye.